And you also want to really ask yourself, do you like him or do you just want him to like you?
I was definitely ghosted. I went on 50 dates this year. I'm still single, so there you go. Most of the people you meet in your life, you're not gonna be with them forever, because I'm the type of person that I never feel like I'm different from any other woman. If anything, I feel like you're gonna treat me the exact same.
We need to let people know that we're just flat out not interested.
Laundry day is the worst day of the fucking week. Hello girlies, welcome back to the channel. I know my hair is different. I have a whole vlog on it, but if you don't know, this is my new hair and I feel like a new woman. Obviously today is laundry day, so we have a lot going on, so I wanted to sit and have a FaceTime with you guys and kind of talk about how I went on 50 dates this year. And I know that sounds absolutely insane. Most of you guys are probably thinking, how the hell do you have time for 50 dates? Listen, if there's a will, there's a way. I may have been a little bit manic, but honestly, I feel like every woman needs to experience just dating as many people as possible, because it really shows you what your standards are, what you like and what you don't like in a partner, and what your non-negotiables are while you're dating. So grab a tea, grab a snack, or start a chore with me too, because we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty and I'm gonna kind of talk about what I realized about love as I've been on all of these dates. I feel like going on dating apps is a humiliation ritual. You are almost swiping somebody in terms of only physical attraction, but at the same time, in real life, that doesn't necessarily mean you will have chemistry. So there were a lot of guys that I kind of like swiped on, and I just felt like they kind of looked different in real life. They didn't look the same as their photos, or they did look exactly the same. I just didn't feel any chemistry with them, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's the tricky part of dating online. So I'm not gonna say that no one should use dating apps, even though a lot of people do, which I completely understand why. But I do feel like if you have the time throughout the week, make sure you're intentionally going to places to meet people. The entire reason why I decided to give dating apps a try is because I never actually did. Now I never will get on it again. I feel like a dating app is just not compatible with my type of personality. I do feel like I like to feel somebody's vibe in real life more than anything else. So alongside meeting guys on apps, I did meet a lot of guys in person. So I didn't meet all of them through apps. Some of them I met in person and went on a date with them immediately. And yes, the crazy part of me going on 50 dates is I'm still single, so there you go. But I'm going to tell you why I feel like you should date at least 50 people in your lifetime. You know, maybe don't be like me and date 50 people in 1 year. But 50 dates does not mean having sex with them or even kissing them. I think I kissed only like 3 guys out of that 50. So it does not equal sleeping with somebody, okay? The first thing that I feel like I learned about love is to appreciate the experience rather than having all of these expectations on something. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to be like, oh, I want to date for marriage, but I do think that restricts you from a lot of great experiences. I had this guy take me to Santa Monica for the first time. I've had super sentimental gifts somebody has given me, and we decided it wasn't gonna work out, but we're really good, I wouldn't say friends, but acquaintances, and I have lifelong memories with a lot of these people that I will probably never see again. And for me, it's more about the experience that I have gained rather than making sure that we go all the way, if that makes sense. And I think that people who kind of want to date for marriage restrict themselves too much to, oh, I only want to make sure it goes all the way with somebody. And I think that that really restricts you from meeting really good souls and just having a really good, fun experience and learning more about yourself and how you interact. Because more likely than not, most of the people you meet in your life, you're not gonna be with them forever. So why not just have fun? Just feel sexy, be hot, be young. If you can't tell, I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm just about like having fun and just living for the experience. And when my person comes, he comes. But it's not something that I'm like, oh my God, I wanna get married. This is so important for me. You know, maybe one day I will get married, maybe I won't. It's not a big deal to me, but I think that having romance in your life is just a very fun feeling to have, and it just made me feel excited for the day, knowing that I had somebody romantically interested in me, I had a date coming. It's just a very fun feeling, and I think that a lot of people, especially Gen Zers, don't let themselves experience dating and be okay with something not working or be okay with heartbreak. I think that having somebody around you that is very consistent is such a turn on, and it's really something that, like, I feel like it's the most important thing next to emotional intelligence that you need to look for in your partner. I was definitely ghosted, and of course it hurt in the moment because you don't understand what you did wrong, but I think that it's super important important to not internalize these things, because just because you're like, oh, you know, I would see this person again, doesn't mean the feelings are mutual. And things come up in somebody's lives to where sometimes they're just not interested in you and they're not your person. And I think it's important to have that rejection therapy to move forward and to actually meet your person. But one of the things I noticed with the guys who did ghost me is they were not consistent. And I think that consistency should be your number one reason why you're attracted to somebody. So I would say out of all of the 50 dates that I have been on, the most consistent guys to me were the most attractive and the most respectable people. And that's definitely something that I treasure even more after going on all of my dates. There is also no perfect person. I think that a lot of times you think, oh, okay, maybe it wasn't this guy, but maybe it'll be this guy, or he had such a great date, and then you find out on date 3 that he says something you don't like, or he has a viewpoint that you don't agree with. So I think it's very important to understand what you want to tolerate, what you don't want to tolerate. That's what going on all of these dates does for women. Purity culture makes women feel like you shouldn't go on all of these different dates with all of these different guys. Oh, if you go on all of these dates, you're leading people on, when really you're learning more about yourself and you're learning more about what you want to put up with and what you don't want to put up with. I think it's very easy to say you're one type of person or you will only deal with some things when you have been on very minimal dates and have very minimal dating experiences. As you actually have these experiences and you're not just absorbing experiences from online, you actually learn more about what you're attracted to. I know some people's schedules, they're very busy. And they cannot afford to meet people in real life because of their schedule. I went on 2 dates with pilots 2 separate times, and they told me that they met all of their ex-girlfriends from dating apps because their schedules were so crazy. They were always in different areas. So I think that if you are consciously looking for your person and you just want to actually cast a wide net, I do think that dating apps are for you. But in general, I just think that meeting somebody organically is such a sweet and fun feeling. I've met a few guys this summer organically, and it just feels like fate. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm still a girl. I still want to believe in whimsy and make my life feel magical. And meeting someone in person by chance and feeling attracted to them just feels like fate, and it makes the connection feel more special, in my opinion. I met a guy in Vegas who was a pilot, and I just met him by chance, him and his brother, when I was sitting at a bar, and that was so fun. We went to the club, we had a good time, we made out in the club, and it was like so romantic and just so fun and spontaneous. And I just feel like we are so young, we just need to have a great time and feel hot, feel sexy, have fun. Just don't take life too seriously. I mean, I never expect to see him again, but I had such a magical, fun, and spontaneous night, and I feel like that is the most important thing. We have gathered all of the colors in this pile, so let's go ahead and do laundry. I got a new makeup box, so I'm just going to be organizing it. I just think it's so cute. I'm obsessed with this lavender color. People will actually tell you exactly who they are in the beginning. When I went on a date with this guy that I feel like was a decent date, he told me that he met a girl off of a dating app, and they went on a few dates together. She still lived with her parents, and he felt like that made her feel insecure because he was like this finance guy, and he had a lot going on in his life, which I thought that was a really weird thing to say on a first date. And he essentially is saying like, yeah, you know, I have never dated a girl who has a lot going on in her life. Like, that's what he told me. He was like, every girl I've dated doesn't have anything going on in their life. And I just thought that was a really weird thing to say, because it's like, are you intentionally looking for people who don't have things going on in their life? But anyways, I still decided to see him. We went out for dinner, and then we went to a second place because we were just like vibing and all of that, but that stuck in my head and I thought it was the strangest thing. And he was kind of like leading me on a little bit, because he would say like, oh, I'm gonna take you to this place, I'm gonna take you to this city, where do you want to go? Just like let me know where you want to go and I'll take you there. And then so when it comes time to like schedule our second date, he kind of just like ghosts me. I'm just like, okay, I just thought that was a really weird thing to do, especially that like I felt like we were having a good time together. But I felt like him talking shit about all the girls that he's dated before were red flags, in my opinion, that I was paying attention to and I was taking note of, because I'm the type of person that I never feel like I'm different from any other woman. If anything, I feel like you're gonna treat me the exact same. Don't be afraid of having like high standards when you're going out with people. I have a non-negotiable of like not accepting coffee or drinks for a date. I personally feel like you shouldn't be drinking on a first date. that can be controversial, but I feel like you need to be of like sober mind. And that's personally why I don't ever drink on first dates. I feel like that's like more of a second, third date thing when I know the person, because I don't know you, so I don't want to be drinking around you. You know what I mean? So I would just say, just be very conscious and stick to your own boundaries, because you know, you can be vibing with someone and kind of like feeling the energy. So if you feel like you want to, you can. Just make sure you know your limit and you're not just like letting people take advantage of you because they're taking you to a nice place. I swear this is one of my favorite facial powders ever. I just feel like that is so unmatched. But I've just been wanting to organize my makeup for a while because I just feel like this is such a cute container, but I also feel like my makeup is always all over the place and it just gets super dirty in my makeup bag. So there was another guy that I was seeing quite consistently, and he would actually drive from Orange County. Mind you, I live in San Diego, so he drove from Orange County to San Diego on our first date, and I just thought that was very thoughtful. I actually matched with a lot of guys in Orange County, and they would always like drive to me for the date, which I feel like is a green flag. So he would drive to like pick me up and just like hang out and be together, and he's the one who actually like took me to Santa Monica, and I feel like it was a good vibe. But when we were on a date together, mind you, I already did a background check on this guy, so I already knew he was married before, but he didn't tell me until our fourth date that he was married. And I thought that was kind of weird because I feel like that's like a big thing to tell somebody, which I guess you guys can let me know whether or not you think that's a red flag to like keep it until the fourth date. But basically, so he tells me like, oh, I used to be married, whatever. And then he, like, mind you, we already have an age gap. So I'm 27 and I think he was 44. And so he says something that I thought was a little bit weird, which he was like, oh, I feel like I want to find the perfect person. They say that you can't find the perfect person, but I just don't believe that's true. And in my head, I thought the reason why I thought that was a strange thing to say, and which I did tell him, and I was like, hey, you know, I think it's not about finding the perfect person. I think it's about finding somebody you can grow with and evolve with. Just deal with life's battles together rather than trying to find somebody who is absolutely perfect. And you know, I feel like as somebody who is like, you know, he's in his 40s, I think that is, sometimes people get really confused as to why they've been single for so long. Like, oh my gosh, why isn't it working, this and that? When it's like, when you say certain things like that, you're kind of putting yourself in a box of trying to find somebody who has everything instead of trying to grow and evolve with somebody. I sent him a text and I was like, which in the past I would have ghosted, and I feel like that's another tip that I have for you guys. Please try not to ghost people. It can really hurt their feelings. Like the guys that ghosted me, even though I didn't really like them like that, it is still like such an ego blow. And you know, as mature adults, we need to let people know that we're just flat out not interested. Like if they would have sent me a text that they weren't interested, yeah, it hurts, but it's better to know instead of wondering what you did wrong and stuff like that. So anyways, I did send him a text and I was like, hey, you know, I'm just like not interested, but I had such a great time with you. And he gave me really thoughtful, nice gifts and things like that. And I wanted to know, like, I really appreciated that. I just personally didn't feel the vibe, and I feel like he didn't feel the vibe either. I think that he just wanted somebody who looked good on his arm, which isn't a bad thing for people who actually just want that. But I think that for me, I definitely want a connection that's a lot deeper and more meaningful. So as I've said, you have the potential to get ghosted, especially if you're dating a lot. You can get rejected, and I think that it's important to love yourself and to realize that it's not your fault. Sometimes you're just not a match with somebody. I think that self-love is the most important thing when you're going on a dating journey. So don't be embarrassed about it. Just because you see girls online who are super pretty and making a lot of money doesn't mean they have never been rejected. Look at all the beautiful women that have been cheated on. I always think about that, and a lot of people don't post their losses and they only post their wins. So you never think that it happens to anyone. But yeah, people are not posting all of their bad dating stories. They're just posting their boyfriends, things that worked out. They're not posting when they've gotten played or ghosted. So don't be hard on yourself if you feel like you're a lover girl and you feel like nothing is working. You just have to keep putting yourself out there. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about having standards. Honestly, even if you feel like you've given your body to a guy and he's not messaging you back or he's not giving you the energy that he was in the beginning, don't feel bad about it. We have all been through it, and social media can make you feel like no one has, and all the pretty girls just get these amazing dating experiences. That is not the truth. Oh my God.
This fucking fly, bro. What the fuck? And you know, I think that I don't really follow the advice of Shara 7. And it's not because I think that she's a bad content creator, but it's because I think she's an entertainer and she does amazing at entertaining. And I think that a lot of women don't understand that she's an entertainer. She definitely makes more money than her husband. As a content creator, I can tell you, with all the ads she's getting, with the sponsors, the campaigns, the views, engagement, she's making way more money than he is. Even I think of Anara Smith, you know, people are like, oh, Lucky, her and Lucky, she's a trad wife. Anara Smith is a hard worker. She's one of the hardest working women I know. And she's an actress. She's acting a role. She's acting a trad wife role. I'd be very careful of idolizing women like this, because that's not their role persona. It's a character that they know gets views and likes. And a lot of women dictate their dating decisions on entertainers when that is not how their life is. Like, I know for 100% fact, Anara Smith makes more money than her husband. As a woman, you should make your own money, not just because you never know what could happen with his job, because that is true, but it's also because when you make money with your passion, it gives you a sense of freedom and happiness that it's inexplainable. Me being self-employed and me having my own income can never be taken from me from someone else. This is something I built from the ground up, and it's a sense of satisfaction you feel having something that's yours that no one else can take from you. No man, no person, no friend. It is a very beautiful feeling to know that you have built something from nothing. So I want every woman to just be very careful of what you consume. And also, if you feel like you are hyper fixated on a man, which I didn't feel like this during the dates at all, because I do have my own life in dates. So the summer where I was dating a whole bunch of people, it wasn't like, oh, that's the only thing I'm doing. It's like I had my work, and then when I had my free time, I would date, like go on like 2 to 3 dates that night, just like quick dates, like fast dates. Really wasn't that serious. You want to make sure you have things outside of a man, because when you're dating and where you're having a good time with someone, they can kind of be in your mind a lot. So you really want to make sure that you have your hobbies, that you have your work, you have your friends, so you could date with intention and not out of necessity. And you also want to really ask yourself, do you like him or do you just want him to like you? Because that's another reason why a lot of people can hyperfixate, because of that inner childhood wound of not being liked, not being seen or valued. So you really just want people to like you, and you never ask yourself if you truly like them. And that's another thing I noticed too. Sometimes I would realize that I don't like him, I just admire parts of him, but I don't actually want to be with him. And those can be two things that can kind of have the same feeling, so it kind of confuses you. But once you realize it, you can't unsee it, and you'll be able to tell if you like someone or you just admire parts of them.